Well, before I get into this review podcast, I will say I do apologize for a bit of a delay in videos coming out. It's just frankly, I've been busy, and well, there isn't a whole lot to review movie-wise. We're at the tail end of the summer. This is basically what I'm going to declare the end of the summer, so expect my 2012 summer review to come out soon. And of course, the summer always seems to end where they have that late August horror movie. Kind of that little signal that, hey, it's coming to fall, we're going to throw out a bunch of horror movies soon, but we're going to try to get this one in first. It's kind of tradition now, I've noticed, with Hollywood. And The Possession is a fine addition to that. For those of you that like horror movies, it's a decent possession exorcism film. I've certainly seen a hell of a lot worse done here. There's a few scares, there's a lot of creepiness, but there's also a lot in here where you're just going to be laughing. And if you're looking for fun, if you're looking for something fun to do with friends on a Saturday afternoon during the dog days of summer, this isn't a bad movie to go to. Some people will be scared. I went with someone that was freaked out at certain parts of this game, or not game, movie. So some people will find it funny. Others, like myself, made a lot of jokes. But there was certainly some good scenes in here and some decent performances. The cast is basically a group of unknowns with two notable exceptions. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and probably for those of you that watch television a lot more, Kira Sedgwick, from The Closer, who's probably the most recognizable faces, at least as far as I can tell. I'm sure there's people that will probably go, what do you mean Morgan's more popular? Regardless. Although I will say, random Rob LaBelle cameo in there. For those of you who don't know Rob LaBelle, when you'll see him, you'll go, hey, wait, he's that guy from all those movies. He's one of those actors. You always see him in movies, but you don't know his name. That's Rob LaBelle there. He has a very small little cameo where you're just kind of like, what? Why are you... I was really expecting his character to come back later on and play a bigger role. I don't know, maybe he knows the director or the writer. Speaking of which, the director, although he's been around for a while, is not that well known. Ol Bornedal, I did mispronounce that, I'm almost 100% certain. I'm not good with the Danish names, sorry. Hasn't really done much outside of the movie. Actually, there's two different versions of this, Night Watch. Not a whole lot else for his filmography. A lot of small stuff, some horror. That's alright. But, yeah. As for the movie itself, like I said, scared to a degree. Some people will be scared. It fits in with the summer. It's trying to take a twist where they're trying to make this a Jewish exorcism film. Unfortunately, there's already been Jewish exorcism films, so this isn't exactly new. Here's the thing. They've basically beaten to death the Catholic exorcism film. That used to be the thing because it was unique and different, and if you make one of those now, it's so by the numbers first of all, because obviously it's Catholic, it's procedure, so everyone's doing the same ceremony. So in order now Hollywood to try to twist it up with the exorcism films, they're going in different directions, or different religions. But now it'll be the Jewish one. So it's now the Debuk, which is the demon, which is in a box. I guarantee you 5 years from now, or a couple years from now, maybe not even 5, we're going to start seeing like the Islamic exorcism films. Where somebody stumbles across something and, no, this is an Islamic demon. It's the Shanti, also known as Satan. And you'll probably see that, and then they'll get tired of that, and they'll move on to Hindu or Buddhist exorcism films. It's still the same basic concept. Actually, the Hasidic guy, I shouldn't say, the main Hasidic character that they get to help him out, he's kind of a fun, quirky little character. He reminds me of a lot of, I'm here in southern Jersey, and we have one of the largest Hasidic communities in the nation here, or, well, not here in this town, but next town over in Lakewood, so it's like, I was really thinking when he was driving south, like, is he going to drive to Lakewood? He goes to New York when he wants to go seek help when he finally figures out, hey, I think there's something weird going on, and it's all this Hebrew writing. Maybe I should look into this. Speaking of which, I will say this. I've enjoyed The Closer. My parents watch it, so sometimes when I'm with them, I'll watch it. And Kira Sedgwick is a decent actress, but in this one, she's just stuck in a role where she's really just playing the stereotypical wife that divorced a husband, and it's because he's not there, but she's really kind of crazy herself. She's maybe a little too clingy, a little too objectifying. We kind of don't like her, and that's unfortunate because we're supposed to actually do kind of like her. She seems a little too, how should I put it? I don't want to say forced liberal because it's not quite. It's not that. She's very. It seems like very new age, like very very much a vegetarian. Don't let kids can't have meat. She's very like overprotective in to those in that kind of way, and to the extreme. Like it's okay if you're just a vegetarian, but it's like she's kind of pushing it, which kind of makes her character a bit of a turnoff, and you kind of want to see bad stuff happen to her. You certainly be, and the same thing where they have the new boyfriend that comes in. Although the one thing I don't get is they're trying to to do the standard. The demon is trying to drive everybody away from the girl type of scenario, and well, they have a boyfriend, and at first they set the father up that he's like. The demon tries to make it look like the father like smacked the girl. But the one thing I never get is they never try to go into the really. They try to use that to drive the wedge, but the way it's set up, I never really bought it. Like at this point where the girl is like doing this, like she's already acted out in class, her teachers commit suicide. Like, there's obviously some fucked up stuff going on with her. So to bring it up in this late a period where she's having these issues, it doesn't seem like it'd be as believable. Like maybe even the mother at this point should really be able to go, there's something wrong with our daughter. Maybe she is making up getting hit because she's doing a lot of weird stuff out of nowhere all of a sudden. And the thing I was expecting them to do to kind of drive a wedge in this relationship is instead, before everyone figures it out, for Clyde, Jeffrey Morgan's character, to start going, well, because he points this out. We've been divorced for over a year, and she has been fine, and it's only right now that she's acting out. And it's right around this time that the boyfriend's starting to come into the picture. I think it would have been a smarter move for him to start going, I think he's abusing her. Like, I think he's doing some sexual stuff to her when you're not around, because they kind of make this point. Like, he makes the point, he's kind of moving in. And I was thought for certain later on in the film that they were gonna do that, and I think that would have made it a little bit stronger of kind of the demon driving everybody away by kind of sabotaging, because that would have been one, the mother, probably this new boyfriend character being driven away from this family without having to make him a complete asshole, as they kind of do here. A smug asshole is his character, so his character would probably get driven away. The mother would probably push the father away a bit, but also get at the same time look at the boyfriend wrong, that pushes him away. So you get all three of these kind of pushing against, because she would probably go, oh, you're just making this stuff up, but in the back of her mind maybe she's considering it. It would have been a very good ploy, I think, for you to do in a exorcism movie, if they kind of used that, because it would have been more of a smart devil. Oh wow, he's there, that demon's really playing off everybody, before it becomes very obvious that it's a demon. Instead, like, the mother doesn't even consider taking her to a doctor until, like, she's already, like, breaking glass and throwing shit around the house and, like, looking like she's fucking possessed. Even though she does other stuff and acts out before, where you should be more... She should have been taken to see a psychiatrist before or something. That's what I would have done. I think that would have been a stronger. They kind of make the mom really be completely unaware, and because of that, unreliable or unlikable. As for Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character himself, he plays a good performance. He plays, though his character is rather stereotypical. It's the coach father who's being offered a Division 1. He works for, apparently I thought he was a high school coach at first. As it turns out, he's a college coach at like a Division 3 or Division 2 school. Which at least gives him the excuse why he can easily find a anthropologist to go, hey, what is this box that my daughter seems to be obsessed over? Who, by the way, this professor does this crazy over-the-top performance where he's like really getting it. Oh, it says don't open. Like he's giving some sort of lecture, but Jeffrey Morgan's character has his face like, dude, stop. Just tell me what it is. This is disturbing me. Interesting to say the least. I'm trying to think if there's not much else. Oh, I do like how they set up this one little gag. You know how they do this a lot of times where they show the more progressive family now. It's like, oh, don't wear your shoes in the house, and Jeffrey Morgan's character, when he goes over, he's like, what, really? We didn't do this when we were married, And later on, they actually make that as a thing. Later on, that comes back to bite her. Is the girl starts having glass thrown about and it breaks on the floor, and Kira Sedgwick's character is like, has to walk on it. She's like, she's stepping on it, and like every time she takes a step you hear the and it does make you kind of cringe up a little bit with like just the thought of like stepping on broken glass. I wanted to go see this with a group, and one of the people, I guess, really did not like that concept because he was like covering his ears and closing his eyes when he saw that. So, I mean, even I cringed a bit, but I didn't go that far. But so that scene, I think, is probably one of the more effective of just going, ooh. Other than that, one thing I will say, there is a very valid criticism of PG-13 horror movies. And I will not necessarily hate a horror movie because it's PG-13, because yes, there is psychological horror, and you can do something very gruesome-like without having to actually do the full R rating, but most of the time it's not the case. Most of the time it's just watered down. Like, it's supposed to have more violence in it, but they just watered that part down, so therefore the movie's not as good. This one, well, exorcism films in general really don't need the violence. It is more of the spookiness and atmosphere. If you're more religious, the religious context itself can, add great fear to the movie. And I don't think exorcism films work that strong when they're extremely violent. Certain other genres, the slashers, you can't make a PG-13 slasher movie, but this I think kind of works, and it's because of those scenes like that where you do have that kind of cringeworthiness of just like stepping on the broken glass. But at other times, it's just hilarious to laugh at how this girl is obviously, she's like pale white, her eyes are like sunken in, she's got the evil look, and they're like, oh, hi Em, what are you doing? Oh, that's nice. It's like, really? That's where you start laughing at the movie. And like I said, if you want to see a full-fledged, serious, really good horror movie, you might be disappointed by this one. You might be. If you are looking for more of a fun you're just looking to have some fun at the end of the summer, this isn't a bad pick. Obviously I did go see it, but I would recommend it for that type of crowd. If you're looking for a more serious, completely well done, very horror nonstop, nothing if you don't laugh at the film for its ridiculousness, then you probably will go, this is crap. So I kind of give it a middle-of-the-road recommendation, leaning on a to-go. It's going to vary depending on what your expectations are for the movie. It's decently shot, although there's a few things that will kind of leave you going, wait, what? Why did they think that? Why did they do that? But, it's not perfect. That's why I say if you're kind of just going to waste time, it'll do that for you. You'll enjoy yourself. There were certainly a lot of people that would actually, we had people in the audience going, oh man, you're messed up now, trying to shout out the movie. And if you're in with that type of audience, it can be fun. Like I said, it's not the worst exorcism film. It's not the best either. It's right there in the middle of the road. But I say it's not, right in the middle of the road as in bland. It's right in the middle of the road as it's enjoyable. And I don't know, if you're Jewish, you'll probably like it that it's more, it's a Jewish exorcism film. Hey, it's our shot. So, check it out. I'm sure horror movie aficionados have already done so, but if you haven't, go for it. Tell me what you think, guys. As always, leave me some feedback, and of course, please subscribe. See you next time.